those fights yet again, or they might try to go for a survival kind of thing.
I mean, I think the best opportunity here would definitely try and secure yourself a slot coming into those finals, right? Because things could get quite risky playing through the playoffs and playing through the survival stage, because you have no guarantee that your team will be making it through, just looking at the sheer level of competition that we have here. So I would say just risk it all. Play as aggressively as you can, because, well, the higher you end up in those standings, the bigger share you get of the overall prize pool. So there's going to be quite a lot to play for. As we can see, of course, the prize pool distribution works all the way down to that 5th position. And if you're the MVP, you get an extra additional $50 added on top of that. So I think it's going to be a very tight competition to see who will be the one to actually get that MVP award.
I mean, MVP, the race will definitely go up, but it will go up in the finals, because that's where you're going to have the prize pool section for yourself. But we have our groups, ladies and gentlemen, the Group A and the Group B on your screen. From Group A, we have Alpha 7, DRS, Bigatron by Vitality, D plus Kia, Kinotrope. There's the Team Secret, Alter Ego, and Nexroy, and Champions Esports in the Group A.
Oh, very exciting lineup that we have there. But of course, it doesn't stop. We have Group B as well. We got Hora Esports as well as RRQ Ryu. We got Sem9. We got DRX. We got Alpha Gaming, Vampire Esports, Boom Esports, Talon. And then, of course, the players all the way from Tribe Aromacy. So I think there is going to be a very spicy day ahead of us here. I mean, we've got a few maps that are going to be coming up. Looking at the lineup here, I hope you're ready, right? I'm putting on my seatbelt right now, making sure I'm strapped in, that I'm not going to go anywhere, because this is going to be quite a bumpy ride, I think.
I kind of need a seatbelt for myself as well by just looking at the teams. It's super like congested. All the giants, all the big teams squeezed into these two groups, and now they're gonna face off against each other. Talking about the roster, it is all the player names. We have Mafioso, Carillo, Revo, Squash Boo. There's Kunha. From the Alpha 7, we have DRS, Kill YT, Example, JD, Narasima. There's Dan Chad as well. Then Bigatron by Vitality, Ryzy, Starless, Fedralis, Nape, Non, Ambon. There's Kent. Then we have D plus Kia with 5 players. CHPZ, Forest, Noibu. There's Osal. There's Fabian. We have known these players that play back and forth, even if not in the same team. Some other teams, because the squad rosters have changed tremendously throughout the time, and I'm talking about from all the way back from the 2020 right to right now, 2025. That's a 5 years of experience that all of these guys have for themselves.
I mean, we've spoken about this, right? And it's not going to stop there as we move into the next few squads, just to show their lineup that they are bringing in here. And of course, already just looking at what we have here, right? It just tells you that it is going to be a pretty tough play. I mean, looking over towards Team Secret, we've got Xerus, Frankie, we got Tranks in there as well. We got Dockel in there. Looking over towards Kinotrope, we got Mark, Finale, Ozzy Sun, Tamer. I mean, there's so many players on this list here. And this was just the first 8. Well, we still have a few more to come. And of course, we know exactly what these lineups are going to bring along with them. It is going to be absolute chaos, mayhem, and insanity that will be unfolding on that battlefield. And I want to see who's going to be the one to bring the most, though.
I mean, I'm going to have one more thing to add up on this. We were talking about all of these fights that is going to ensue, but DK, the best part is it's 9 plus 9 teams. We're not seeing 8 plus 8 teams. We're not seeing a standard lobby of 16. This time, from today onward, we're going to see a lobby of 18. And you know, the more the teams are, the more congested the area become, the more contested those early fights actually occur. And those early fights, the chances of them happening because of the plane line suddenly going all the way down the south, from the south to all the way from east to corner side, western side, those are the crucial factors that will come into the play. If you have even a slight bit of bad plane line, there's going to be so much clashes that might occur into the premises, and we might see some very big fights. But one more question. Are we gonna have a Sandhawk? Because I know about these teams and they don't like to play Sandhawk majority of the time. So if we are not gonna have a Sandhawk or just one Sandhawk, then that means there's two Erangels, two Miramars into the premises, but no Rondo because Rondo is coming into the play in the upcoming officials. So I kind of wanted to see the Rondo too.
I mean, it's going to be interesting once Rondo really starts to make his rotation coming into our games. But I mean, it is quite a different map in comparison to what we have on Erangel, over on Miramar, as well as over onto the lovely map of Sanok itself, right? It's kind of a mixed match of all three of those.
Yeah.
But also it's not, right? It's completely different all at the same time. It's a very flat and open map. So I think there's going to be a few interesting plays to come through on that. But of course, speaking about the maps itself, here is our rotation that we are going to be working through. There is going to be no Sandlock. It is just Erangel and Miramar spread all throughout the day. It is going to be absolutely crazy.
Oh my god. Petition to bring Sandhawk back. But no, we're not going to have Sandhawk today. 3 Wrangles, 2 Miramars, and all A versus B it is. First, we're going to go into the Wrangle. Okay, the standard map. Everyone's going to have the tilt and all of those momentums that they needed to gain for the rest of the matches. Wrangle is a standard match. It's a standard map, so if you want to have any kind of warm-up, any kind of like early gameplays where you want to test out the waters against the teams, against your own standings, Erangel is the play for you whatsoever. But as we will head into the Miramar, then Erangel again, then into the Miramar again, that diversity, that change of the map, that's what's gonna like make the most of the teams. I'd say they're gonna shook them majority of the time because sudden change into the map and you're not having a good time to adjust into a single match. You're constantly changing, you're constantly going into a different route, different map. One game you're in a different strategy, the other game you're in a different strategy. You're not staying with the same strategy throughout the whole thing, and that's what's gonna like make a lot of difference, a lot of pressure for the team, and maybe some of those minor mistakes that might just turn into a very huge one.
One thing that I'm looking forward to here is you were talking about mistakes, right? So looking at the lobby that we have, if any team drops the ball, they are going to get punished severely, right? There's going to be no opportunity because, as you've pointed out, instead of the normal 16 teams that we have in a lobby, we have 18 teams.
Exactly.
Right, so there is no opportunity, and it is going to be absolutely crazy looking at how these teams are going to be looking to kind of get themselves established, to get those points solidified, to ensure that come the next few days of play, they don't have to stress and worry whether or not they'll be actually making it all the way into towards those finals. So I'm looking forward to seeing just how aggressive the teams are going to arrive right out of the gate, right? Heading into the first single match of the day, I think there is going to be a pretty contentious start to this. And I mean, we've seen what these teams can do. Now we want to see what happens when they all kind of have to fight for their spot to go, right? Because there's not been an opportunity for them to really establish their own specific drop location. So we might even have a few hot drops coming in.
Oh, I would love that. I would love a hot drop whatsoever. And on top of that, in Erangel, yes, please give me those hot drops whatsoever. But the question still remains, are we going to see the hot drops in those major cities, the Georgia Pool, the Pachinki, the military base, or the Novorupnoye, even Yasna, Poliana, or we're going to see some of those like non-popular cities like of those Milta city. It can happen into the Gutka. Some of the regions, some of the players, in fact, do love to go Gutka. I know for a fact these South Asian teams, they just love that. They just love that spot. The corners that they can get into, the nicks and crannies that they can find the guns and everything. They just love Gutka whatsoever. I've seen a majority of the times even 2-3 of the teams go in there. But the question still remains, are they going to go very at the corner to stay into the safe side, maybe face a clash there? Or they're going to take their chances into the very midsection near the Pachinki side of the outskirts, the school, the apartments, all these big names of areas.
only time will tell, right? That is going to be the only way that we'll be able to figure out what these teams will be doing. But as we normally see coming into the first match of the first day, it's usually usually a bit of a what you could call a litmus test, right? Teams just trying to get a good assessment as to what the competition is bringing to the battlefield. But I think the moment that we are done with match number 1, the teams know exactly what they need to do, how they need to play, and what the strategy is going to be moving forward, right? And I think as we move into that second match, yes, even though it's on a different map, we are going to be seeing quite a bit of a change in the dynamic as to how the teams will be approaching these confrontations. So I think there's going to be a lot to look forward to here today.
I mean, yeah, there is a lot to look forward to here, but what I can think of from all of these teams is the first day, they're actually going to go all the way till the very end to the aggressive side, because it is the one and only day that you're going to have like a leisure of knowing what the lobby is capable of. And I think they should take the chance. They should take this opportunity and go haywire with all those fights, all those early clashes and everything. You're getting all the rotations from the other teams. You're trying to know what their rotations are for the rest of the days, for the day number 2, day number 3. And the main concerning factor that you have in your own mind is you have to stay into the top 9 after the day number 3, because that's where the qualification ends. That's where the qualification is. The top 9 is going to go to the grand finals. Then the last chance, the bottom 9 teams will go into a very last chance survival area where it's a only single day. It's a single day. So bottom 9 teams, in fact, it's 24 teams. Yeah, so in last chance, we're going to have 18 lobby again for a single day, but 9 teams, 1 group, or yeah, some of the players from each group are going to go into the grand finals from this 3 days of action. So whatever they're doing, they have to do it really good. There is no chance of mistakes whatsoever. Yes, you can make some mistakes, but you have to make sure that you capitalize on them afterwards. If you keep making the same mistakes again and again and again, it's only going to come back and haunt you from one point to another.
Yeah, no, that is 100% correct in saying that. And so I think one of the mistakes that I think some of the teams could maybe make is put themselves in grenade range of Doc. I think you have to watch out for that play, right? So I'm curious to see just how much utility they're going to look to use today. I mean, looking at the teams from this region and looking at other events that we've seen, utilities, they come in heavy, right? They're pretty good with reaching in with all the grenades. So I want to see how the teams are going to be looking to get themselves situated, play through these strategies. But I think the more important thing is where will the zones will be taking them, right? Because if it goes to the hills, it becomes quite challenging. If it goes out to the flat open spaces, there's no change, right? So anywhere, I think, on this entire map is going to be absolute mayhem. But we'll find out exactly what the teams have in store for us the moment that we get into our first match of the day. So Engel is going to be, I think, the big revealer to show us just how aggressively these teams are going to be looking to kind of establish themselves here today.
I mean, that's what's taken the most time, too. We're waiting for the big reveal at this point. We're waiting for the curtains to drop, for the match to even, in fact, begin. And from what I can see, yeah, it's not going to take too much of a time from this point onward. We're maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes max. Then we're going to go into the match. So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere. And during that time, why don't we talk about the video that we saw at the very start, the platform.lidoma.com. You know, it has been going for the past 2 seasons as well, that this platform is providing the teams an opportunity for not just the PUBG Mobile, but for all of the different games of the mobile as well. You can get good prizes, the money factor is good, the motivation is there, and the first thing, if you do good, you even have a chance to feature your own team on these streaming phases as well, streaming stages as well. So make sure you are going there, sign up for that, and monthly it's up to $5,000. The last time we had the opportunity to say it out loud, $5,000 every single month that will distribute throughout the games, throughout the teams.
Give me the website again. You said the magic word there. I need to go. I need to go check it out.
You need to go check it out. It's platform.lidoma.com, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, make sure you also do like the stream and subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of you. We can see a lot of you into the comment section as well. But yes, the match is about to start. The match will commence in a short while. And DK, before we head into the match, do you have any specific team that you're rooting for tonight?
Ooh, I mean, there's a quite a bit to choose from here, but
Yes.
I would go, and it's not based on what I'm seeing in the chat because the chat is shouting for Hura. We see A1 support coming in there as well. A1, unfortunately, as we know, not playing here today. But okay, so I'll go for one of two. I'll either go for Alpha Gaming from Group B, because I want to see some crazy plays on that side. And then on the other hand, I'd go for, I'd say, D plus Kia. And you? How about you, Torix?
Oh, okay. Very good choices. I mean, whatever we choose, it's a very good team whatsoever, no matter what. It's a good choice. But yeah, I'm thinking of Vampire from the Group B and Alpha 7 from the Group A.
Ooh.
These are the two names that I kind of think may have the potential early on because of their constant early fragments that they usually go. They go completely haywire onto first early stages. So, I mean, isn't all of these teams at this point, all of these names? So it's right now a matter of factor of who's gonna have like the upper advantage, the position wise, the location wise, and most of all, their synergy wise. That synergy is where it's gonna like matter the most whatsoever. You have good position, you have good strategy. You don't have a good synergy. No, it's not going to work for you. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to take too much more of your time. And we're going to take you straight into the game number 1 of the match. It is Erangel going no rope noi all the way towards the quarry. DK, I told you, it's going to be a very diverse playing line and southern side favorite it is.
I mean, it's not looking bad at all, but I'm going to be looking to see how these rotations are going to work out, right? Will we have the zone maybe being a little bit cheeky, taking us all the way up and towards the north, or is it going to play along and maybe go a little bit more center or south, right? The teams, of course, will decide exactly where they will feel they need to get themselves situated, and we'll see a lot of that now come through. But it is the playoffs. It is day 1, game 1. And it is go time, right? There we have it. The zone, of course, is going to be centering up quite beautifully over on towards Gatka. And I want to see the spread, right? There could be quite a bit of contention coming into this early game, as you said.
I mean, a majority of the teams dropped on early at this point. There's a Tribe, there's Alter Ego together into the Milter Power Plant. Into the city, we can only see the DRS as they usually go there. But yeah, Pachinki, I can see maybe 2 teams going into the Pachinki side as well. But yes, no circle contestations. Every team has their own separate locations that they can get the loot for themselves. But bigger Tron by Vitality. Look at the formation that they have. 2 to 1 to 1. It's a split ratio. All of the quarry region is for this team. But early stages, the Hora Esports near the shelter side, the Alter Ego versus the Tribe Messi. I kind of want to see this fight happen at this point. I kind of want to see the teams go for that aggressive stances. But on our screen, it is Team Secret first and foremost into the farm areas. Close to them, there is the guy from the RRQ, Ryu. The Terang, no movement whatsoever. He's going back into the compound. He's going to go into the safe area. But RRQ, they're completely like split too. One team is to a different player. One player, in fact, is to a different team. The other guy is on a complete different team. But there comes the grenade. It might hit the player. The players are going onto the buggy. And, okay, they did not get out of the buggy. But GK, he's the one that's going to be taken down alongside another guy. It's not just one. Secret has lost 2 of their crucial players.
Yeah, it's no secret that there's a lot of aggression in the early game. Look at the sprays that are coming through. RRQ trying to clutch it up, and there we go. It is the first squad-wide Team Secret making their way back into the lobby as they get eliminated. And RRQ, Ryu, absolutely establishing themselves with quite a bit of dominance. I mean, all right, so that's one down, and we still have quite a few more teams to go. Bigatron also by Vitality also starting to get themselves now situated throughout that quarry region. As you pointed out, we saw quite a bit of a wide spread. Right, that's a 2-1-1 split. Now I'm curious as to how they're going to look to potentially condense that play moving through this. Looking at the rest of the teams, though, there's still going to be quite a few opportunities. Even Talon now starting to mobilize, moving through farm, getting the loot, and just getting the heck out of Dodge.
Oh my god. I mean, we're not seeing that much of a teams into the lobby as well. There's 2 teams already missing, first and foremost. And the other teams that were even here, one of them just got eliminated early on. Secret is done and dusted within the 3 minutes of the game. But Talon Esports, they also have one elimination to their name. D plus Kia going into the school apartments, getting their loot, getting their arsenals. And whatsoever, nobody's close to the proximity, but RRQ, I have to give it to them. The position-wise, how they were formed up, like a solo player in different position, solo player to a different team, and then 2 players just coming around into the buggy. For a split second, I thought that it would have been RRQ that would have got the elimination on their side. But no, they're the one that is going to eliminate the team Secret. But they're also going to lose one of the players to the Talon Esports. So it is kind of still 3-to-1 ratio. After getting 4 elimination, they are down to the 3 players. So the next phase is going to be slightly difficult for them. But D plus Kia so far, no hard work whatsoever. Easily getting that loot, getting that arsenal, and nobody's even close to them. They're easily gonna get into the circle on top of that, even though they were outside. Alpha 7, another name, over all the way to the eastern corner. Lipovka, it is almost 3,000 meters away from the circle, and going into the circle, that's gonna be a hassle now.
Yeah, especially looking at what they have positioned ahead of them. But as we know, Alpha 7, Korea, and the rest of the crew here, they're not going to have too much of a difficult time finding an efficient rotation, right? Yes, are they going to have a few bumps in the road? Guaranteed. As we saw, a lot of these teams will find themselves in quite a bit of a predicament. But Lipovka, for the time being, is quite far away, as you pointed out, from where that zone is, right? Of course, all the way over towards the far western side. And now we have Alter Ego holding up right alongside Alpha 7 here. So there's going to be already a bit of an exchange coming through, as we can see both teams are starting to move themselves up in towards that more western positioning. But Alter Ego trying to get a good read as to where Alpha 7 will likely look to rotate towards. Doesn't seem like they're too committed to getting into a fight just yet.
I mean, this is the team that went to the Milta power plant, disengaged from the fight of the Triboromacy, and now they're close to another team. And judging from the fact that they disengaged from one fight, they're just gonna do the same thing again. But DRX on our screen, there's a Big Mama, there's QXZZ, there's DRX's Nia, there's Gaga. In fact, Big Papa, there's Big Mama, there's Big Papa. I kind of want to see now Big Son, Big Daughter into the roster too. I kind of wanted a whole family of Big from this point onward. But yeah, 7 minutes have passed, ladies and gentlemen. And from that early fight, nobody else is going into any kind of exchange, any kind of fight whatsoever. But BTR versus DRX, in fact. That can potentially happen. But Talon Esports, once again on our screen, shields away from the teams, kind of super far away. But wait a second. Do I see Johan just disconnected? Okay, he's back. There we go.
It was only temporary, just to see if you were actually paying attention. That's all they were doing. It's just a test to see if Torix is paying attention for today. But yeah, I mean, we did see BTR starting to kind of circle around DRX on that position we had previously. Of course, the blue zone is going to start to make its way on in. So Alter Ego, they will have to find a way or potential position to move in towards, as they are going to be heading further and further, now approaching the edge here of Potato Hill. No contentious plays up ahead of them yet, but they still have a long way to go, and of course anything can change along the way. DRS Gaming now coming through from that southern side. They got BTS just up ahead of them. Of course, that vehicle skin looking quite strange as per usual, but here we go. JD moving up in towards the Wizard Tower, looking to see if they can get a quick little bit of loot there. I can't fault that because I do exactly the same, but Alter Ego now finding themselves in a bit of position. Of course, the shots coming through from up on a hill. Oh, nice. Krypton though,
That's nice.
Getting it in.
He made sure that whatever his knock is, he is getting that. He is getting that point whatsoever. But now he's outside the circle. He's going to get into the car, the buggy. He's going to move away. Skedaddle out of here from what you can see. Alter Ego, Rosemary, 911. He's kind of in a different position, different like location. Dabo, T25. All the players from the Alter Ego. Wait a second. Tribero Messi, they didn't stop for their own player. As soon as the player started to get the shots, they were like, okay, we're out of here as well. They not only get into the circle, but look at the positions that all of these teams have put themselves into. We can see the SEM9 close to the proximity of two different teams. Not just one, two different teams. There's Alter Egos, in fact, all the way down outside the school area, but Boom Esports, they're on the Mount Everest. The fight can actually happen from that position. They can see everybody into the proximity, but in the hospital section, I can see two different teams. Alpha 7 going into the proximity for the fight, and let's see if Izo can make it happen, can take the fight for himself, or Revo is going to come here with that shotgun blazing. That shot's all the way, getting connected. The M416, he's going to get that knock. The player, let's go. He's going to go away. He is actually going to take his name, and he's going to go away from here.
I mean, that's what the name says, right? So they just staying true to what the name is, but of course we still have Apex just holding down in the compound. Let's see whether or not the players here from Nexury can actually look to bring in a little bit of that revenge play, applying the pressure over towards Alpha 7. Doesn't seem to be the play just yet, as Alpha 7 have moved in, cleared it out. Now playing a nice little bit of leapfrog as they make their way further and further over on towards the western side. It does seem like Alpha 7 here, Dorix, are going to be looking to get themselves situated way deeper into the west, right? Close towards that coastal line. And of course, in contradiction to that, up in towards Gatka, as we have here, you can see Ganatrope. They just chilling up on the roofs, right? Waiting to see if anybody is going to dare venture up in line of their scopes.
I mean, even look at the mini map, the split that they have. It's a 2-1-1 split again, but Mark, he's in the dugout, just chilling in his car, but on the Mount Everest, we can see Hora Esports now into the place. Boom Esports, they have been forced to leave this area away, aside from them. Sky Hora looking into the proximity, trying to find out the Boom's a player, but no luck whatsoever. He's making sure the cars that he can see, in fact, he can get those shots connected on them. The tires should get punctured whatsoever. The exit, it is nowhere to be found for the teams, but aside from that, yeah, nothing else. One thing that I was not expecting into this lobby was this kind of like a safe side. I was expecting it more to be more kind of like an over-aggressive kind of lobby. So all my hopes that I had for the lobby, for the early fights, all those destructive plays that could have happened, it's all down the drain now. Now we have to wait for the 15 minutes, 16 minutes maybe marker. After that, the stage number 4 that will occur, that's where the fights are going to start. But Talon Esports, they're closing in. They're closing in fast to the Hora Esports, but Shield, you have to be careful because No Fear has a grenade on you. Shield is going to be taken down. It's a knock. It's an instant confirmation from No Fear. And now the rest of the players from the Talon Esports, they're closing in as well. The shot from the grenade, it's going to occur.
Coming through here from Hora as they are just locking down Everest. Talon they're making you swallow your words, right? You said maybe 4 more minutes to go until the fights will start to break out, but they didn't want to wait that long as they started moving on through. But of course, Alter Ego Era is now starting to knock on the door as well. Only one player up ahead, as we can see, Krypton trying to get a bit of an angle here. The rest of the crew now trying to come in with a wrap around play, fully enveloping Aura. And it is going to be quite a contentious play now. Ooh, Sky getting dropped right on down as Krypton starts to move on up. Now looking to get a bit of a hold up on the top of the hill as they look to apply the pressure. Utilities are starting to fly in here from the side of Horror as Alter Ego knocks on the door. They want their way in. They want a slice of the action. Let's see if they are going to be able to get any of that to go as Alter Ego Ares, as he used to push through, coming through with that flank. Rosemary now poking into the side here. Horror looking very low. Sleepy gets dropped on down. It's up to No Fear to hold on to the reins. Quickly changing between those shotguns. And of course, the utility trying to keep Alter Ego just at arm's length. Beautiful utility now getting sent in, but Talon not going to be backing out of the fight either, as it is a three-way fight. The push is here. No Fear looking absolutely contentious on the edge. Gets a quick little shot in with a shot, but off they go. Alter Ego wiping Horror Esports out of here.
They're down, they're gone. Alter Egos, not only they reclaimed the mountaintop, the Everest, back for themselves, but they also took down the contestations that actually occurred there. 4 eliminations to the Alter Ego side. In fact, Boom was there at one point in time, but now Boom is kind of close to the Alpha 7. There is the Vampire Esports as well. Bigatron is also facing a lot of casualties here, but oh my god, Bumblebee going in with the shotgun, 1897. It is, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to make sure the connectivity occurs and instantly a confirmation into the play as well. Big Papa now trying with the M416 to get all of the shots connected, but he has to look at not one, but 2 different directions. In the front side, there's Boom Esports. In the back, there's the team Vampire Esports just chilling into the proximity, but the grenade is not gonna happen. The grenade is not gonna connect. In fact, Boom, Pubg is gonna take Snape down as well. Now Pubg with the Molotovs and everything, he's gonna make sure he's trying to relocate. Try to deny the entry for the players, but DRX, QXZZZ, he was like, okay, I'm taking the leap of faith, and he took that. He took that. But Nia, the guy's down. It's all up to XZZ. And looking at this point, I think the viable option, the best option, should be to just get out of there as soon as you can, but you're not going to be allowed. Vampire Esports is going to take you down, and DRX, with this, is also out of the proximity. We are down from 15 all the way to top 11 teams within the 2 minutes marker.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how these teams are going. Speaking about crazy, it's going to be Sim 9. Now, also, just trying to hold on for dear life as they are down to their last hopeful. Of course, we did see a bit of that altercation coming through between them and D plus Kia. As you can see, Nobu rather, holding just outside of the zone, trying to keep Sim 9 out of that zone. But it is going to be firing, knocking on the door. They want their way in. A quick exchange. The utilities now starts to fly all over the place. Vampire also now feeling a little bit of pressure. You can see the shots are lining up in the feed, but to see if Nolbur is going to be able to keep them out. Sim9 keeps on pushing. The players now slowly starting to dwindle. Nolbur gets spotted on out, and down they go. D plus Kia is going to be the team eliminated out in 10th position as we now enter the top 9. Vampires not out of the woods themselves. The shots come in. It is absolute insanity. It is a rush all over the place.
Oh my god, no! Vampire just naded the Oblivion from this point onward, but That's where the diversity came into the play. That was one thing that none of us were expecting. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back into the game. Triborough Messi on our screen so far. There's Trix KM Rig going into his car. But why is he going outside of the play zone instead of going inside of the play zone?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. But of course, looking at what they have here, there is not a lot of positioning to play, as I think Aromasi, they just waiting to see if anybody's going to look to push in from that northern rotation. I mean, this is a beautiful bit of a gatekeep opportunity here, but we don't quite know if there's anybody situated to their north. We do see Alpha 7 coming through on that southern side, and of course, it is going to be one of the talent players that we have alongside, well, Alter Ego, that needs to get those rotations secured. So that could maybe be who they're waiting for. Alpha 7, though, beautiful setup as we can see them waiting patiently. See if
Oh my god.
it is an opportunity. DRS, though, in the meanwhile, just find themselves even more of a chance, more of an angle as RRQ now falls victim to the sprays. But the numbers still looking pretty steady. Still 7 teams available here.
There's still 7 teams, but one good thing that if you get eliminated from here, you're going to have one, at least, a positioning point for yourself. You're going to have that great. But wait a second. Why is JD faceless from this point onward? This is my question. Why is he faceless from this point onward? But we'll talk about that in a short while. Talking about DRSS Gaming's JD. The shots, the sprays that he tried to get those shots connected on the players. It was good. They tried their level best. But okay, that's a default picture. That's a default picture. So you can put anyone's face there whatsoever if you want to. But for you so far, close to the SEM9s, the grenades, 6 grenades in the guy's hand. Okay. Who gave the whole boxes of grenades to this guy? This is my question. But Foster you, he's throwing every single one of them onto the SEM9. That's the second one that he's going to throw. No connectivity whatsoever. Another one, maybe in a short while, but I don't think so. I don't think so it's going to happen. But JD, from the backside, he is the one that can actually make the most intriguing entry from this point onward. With the Molotov that he just threw in the compound, they're gonna force the players to move a little bit from their original position, and that's when you're gonna have the location pitch to yourself. That's when you're gonna know where the players are. The shotgun is gonna go. One player is gonna go down by the hand of Foster you. He's gonna jump shotgun, get that elimination. Second one also down. It's over. Foster you, beautifully done. A 1v2. That's 10 elimination to the team RRQ.
Well, RRQ not going to be stopping with the pressure being applied to them, as we see have DRS Gaming now looking to get their share of the action. They've now sat back patiently waiting for this fight to get concluded, not being able to sneak in any of those eliminations. But now it's going to be Foster Ryu trying to hold on for dear life. Absolute bombardment. Talk about the tables getting turned right on them as they've now have to try and survive.
Ooh.
Nice little bit of a hiding opportunity here, but DRS, they're not going to hold off. They are just going to let it all loose. They want that one additional elimination.
I'm looking at DRS throwing everything at their disposal to that single guy, and that single guy is still on the full HP side. He has not lost a single bit of HP. But on the other side, into the kill feed, we could see the Alter Ego also losing some of their players, and they're also down to the very last guy. But Narsima from the DRS side is going to take one player of the Alpha 7 down. Carlo is going to go against the fight of the team Triborough Messi. RQ, Gen Foster U is finally going to be taken down. It's over for the guy. We're into the top 4, ladies and gentlemen, from this point onward. Carhillo alongside of Rev O77K alongside of Squashu. They're all 3 players of the Alpha 7. 4 eliminations to their name so far. DRS with the 8 elimination. Alter Egos, another name with the 8 exact elimination. The only 2 teams right now alive into the lobby with the highest number of eliminations. Talon down to the last guy. Alter Ego down to the last guy. 1 versus 1 versus 3 versus 4. This situation is going to be super hard for every single one of the players.
I mean, Alpha 7 looking pretty good with the amount of players that they have, not necessarily the best position that they have, sitting on towards that northern side of the zone. And I think DRS here are really going to be looking to contest them for that winner chicken dinner. Alpha 7, though, only 4 eliminations, as you've said, so they've not been going all too crazy just yet. But DRS, they are going to be cleaning it up as they do find quite a bit of an advantageous angle. Alpha 7 losing just another player. So Revo and Carrillo trying to hold it nice and steady. Still a good duo spread coming through here for the side of Alpha 7 as we see Carrillo now spring into action with JD and the rest of DRS comes running through. It's up to Revo to see if they can clutch it out a 1v3, and this could still turn in favor here of Alpha 7. Is it going to be likely? Not all too much, but it's all going to depend on what Revo can do with these next few sprays, these next few plays. Talon, in the meanwhile, are going to be taken out all the way over towards that far side as the shots connect on through. No, not yet. I mean, Talon still alive on here somewhere, I guess that is. But here we have it. Oh, the play is in. And that is going to be DRS securing themselves the winner chicken dinner. They came into this last zone with 4 players up. They held steady. They held true. And they got their hands on that first victory. What a play.
What a play it is. DRS, the first winner chicken dinner takers. And on top of that, a decent number of eliminations too. I think it was somewhere in between 12 maybe eliminations or 11 eliminations that they're going to have. Meaning 21 points in the start of the game. It's a very, very decent start whatsoever. It is the WWCD for these guys. Narsima, Killer YT, Example, and JD. It is, ladies and gentlemen. So, from this point onward, now, as these guys have got the winner chicken dinner, they have made sure that Erangel is kind of their advantageous favored side. They can survive, they can get that chicken dinner with the decent number of eliminations. Now, the next step is to survive for the Miramar, because you're going to be changing into the map. You're going to be going into a different one, trying to get some decent number of eliminations from there onward as well. But I kind of want to see how the rest of the teams have played it out. But the MVP, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Killer YT with 4 eliminations, 813 damage, and survival time of 23 minutes, close to that proximity.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good stats coming through here for our first MVP, all the way there from the side of DRS. A very hot and spicy game to start us off with, as we were predicting. And so it's all going to boil down to what will come through next. Because aside from our MVP, we are going to be taking a look to see exactly what our match rankings look like and where these teams find themselves. You predicted the 21 points. In fact, it was 23 coming through
23.
for DRS. RRQ Ryu coming through on 13, followed by Alter Ego and Alpha 7, all walking away with those double-digit pointers. And of course, if we look over to the right side, there's a few teams with, as I'd like to say, a bag of donuts, right? Boom Esports, Nexori, as well as Team Secret, all getting sent back. But, of course, as we know, only first match of the day, right? Still got a few more to go and several opportunities to secure those points.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a lot more opportunities to secure the points. But I do love the fact that even though RRQ got early eliminated, the amount of eliminations that they have speaks for themselves. 10 elimination is a very big number, very great number. They just need to focus somewhat onto their survival, and they can do really great. But DRS, ladies and gentlemen, they're the one that is going to be the victorious victors for the Erangel match. Miramar now from this point onward, then Erangel, then Miramar. We're finally down to the 2 of each maps from this point onward. 2 Miramars, 2 Erangels, and now as the Miramar will commence from this point onward, there's going to be a lot of changes. Yes, we didn't see any kind of like fights happening that much early on into the Erangel stage. Yes, that there was the one fight, Alter Ego versus I think it was Sem 9 that got into the fight early on, the very first fight, RRQ versus M9, that happened. So from that point onward now, it's about the fact that how the teams can actually go and form themselves into the Miramar match. But yes, before we head into the Miramar, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going for a short break. Do not go anywhere. Make sure you hit that like, the subscribe, and make sure you keep following, because we will be right back after the short break.
and gentlemen, welcome back. We're getting ready to move into game number 2 right here in the PUBG Mobile Asia Showdown Season 3. Of course, it is playoffs, day number 1, game number next, or game number 2, however way you'd like to say it, is coming on. And of course, you're here with myself, DK, and of course, Torix. Now, if you missed the first match, DRS stepped up, came in with a glorious winner chicken dinner. But for game number 2, Torix, we're heading into the desert. We're heading into Miramar.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, what happens on Erangel stays on Erangel, right? It is now time for that big long-range showdown. And I'm curious who's going to be the one to step it up. Because, to be truthful, I mean, neither of us predicted DRS to get that winner chicken dinner.
Yeah.
So what's going to be the play coming into game number 2?
Oh my god. Yeah, the DRS, with this momentum that they have got for themselves, they can definitely come into the top and come into the clutch for the match number 2 as well. But from what I think is that some of the teams, not all, some of the teams will try to beat down DRS at the very start of the game to take that revenge factor from them, maybe into the early stages. But yeah, the early stage, the factors, the engagements that might occur, that's one thing that we will know after we see the playing line, after we see the teams that drop off. Because Miramar is such a vast map, it's such a big map, that no matter what, you can be into a safe spot. No matter if the circle, if the playing line is not in your favor, it's not in anybody's favor, it's going into one corner, you can still have a chance to go into a safe side location. You can, took that nook and cranny for yourself. Just hide for yourself. But one thing that Miramar is super dangerous off is that fact that if you don't have a car, you're not going to be able to rotate properly, and you might face the consequences of that late rotation, maybe with your own lives.
Well, speaking about our own lives, right, we are going to be earning the flight path as we come in from the east, heading to the west, just cutting the map right in half. I think for the spread, though, this is where the teams are going to be quite satisfied, right? Everybody can essentially kind of get themselves situated into a pretty good position right here. And of course, as you've mentioned, those vehicles are going to come in clutch, especially for these early game positionings. So let's see who is going to get the party started, as we already have Alter Ego starting to make their way up towards the north, getting themselves out of the plane nice and early. Of course, D plus Kia also going to be heading down towards that southern positioning. But I'm curious whether or not RRQ Ryu are going to be able to make it beyond the solo this time, right? Are they going to be able to keep those numbers strong and steady pushing into the late game? Or will they get bullied into a corner yet again?
Oh my god. Oh, RRQ. You did so good into the first match, but you couldn't get that positioning for yourself. Yes, they did got bully at the corners, but so far on our screen, on the mini screen, we can see Alter Ego so far on the screen getting that loot. I don't know what is this guy doing, getting into the car, getting out, maybe trying to know if there is anyone into the proximity, but there's nobody here. But Vampire Esports, they dropped at the Picado. And close to them, there is another team that can take the fight with them. The circle is going to go toward the northern side this time around. The northeastern side, in fact, Tore Ahumada, the El Azhar areas, they are into the circle. Hora Esports going all the way to the western side of the circle as well, near the team RRQ. There's Lapa, maybe close to the proximity of Sleepy, and that fight may occur. But so far, it is a Vampire, Miaula, with the Winchester 97. 8 only bullets. Okay, he couldn't pick up the bullets, but there we go. Sem9 versus Nex, and Apex gets taken down. Sem9, this time around, getting those shots connected, getting those connectivities done upon on the players, and that's the first frag, first point that they're gonna have.
Yeah, Monte Nuevo is where the action is at, as Sem9. I just well, try to get even more of the action to go here. But as you said, right, it is a little bit of a stand down coming through between both sides. There's going to be Nexury also just this time keeping their heads on a swivel, right? Because we did see Alpha 7 surprising them in the previous match, rushing up on that hill just towards the southern side of Georgia Pool. Let's see how this one is going to play out as Demo starts to move on up. Will they show us how it's done? Or Will they be taught a lesson right now? Of course, we don't know. We'll find out pretty soon. But I gotta say, though, a decent spread coming through with a big chunk of our teams, right? We did see, as you've mentioned, Vampires going up into Pecado. But ISO getting taken down as it is going to be Sem9 looking to clutch it up. They already tasted a little bit of blood. They won even more. You can smell it in the wind. But will they lock it down? One player is going to fall next here of Nexo. Now, where will the next few players go? The Nexo holding nice and steady. Sem9 looking to dial up the aggression. Just finishing off what they've done already. 2 players now remain. It is going to be Tupac and their teammate. But Sem9, I got to say, Dorix, I love this bounce back coming through from them. I mean, we didn't see all too much from Sem9 in match number 1, but game number 2, they're really bringing it out.
They definitely are bringing it out from this point onward. 5 points into the game number 1. Now already securing 2. Almost going halfway into the early stages. It's a good start, but Sem9 firing. There we go. Demo OG with that UMP45. Getting those connectivities. Tupac Lego getting also Yumiko down. Oh my god, that's so not 1, but 2 of the Sem9 players that down and dusted. The grenade went into the Sem9's territory. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage going on. Another one going on, but both of the players getting into the compound, into the safe side, but you have nowhere else to run from this point onward. The grenade is gonna go, the door's gonna close in the last second. Okay, he survived just barely from that door, but now Lego closing on from Nexori. Let's see, Tupac and Lego and Demo OG. It's only up to these 2 guys versus the 3 of Sem9. 2 versus 3 into the Monte Nuevo, but AK-47, AKM, at this point, I was about to pull the very big boy move right there. But yeah, AKM, 2-pack in the hand, and I do believe this is one of the guns that can do very wonders. Just a single headshot is going to be enough to, like, almost get you out of your wits.
I mean, the AKM is scary up close, but so is the Uzi, right? If you come in with that Uzi, you're going to have to start backing up. Of course, a little bit of that shoddy play coming in here as well. Sem9 now down to U-High as they've been having their numbers getting absolutely whipped from them. But it is Demo versus U-High, right? It is the big old standoff for there.
God.
We have it. Sem9 ending the run here for Nexury in match number 2 as they come in clutch. And actually, a good performance coming through from Sem9, right? They didn't lose the entire squad. Only 1 player has been taken out. They still are left with 3, so there's quite a bit of a move that can still be made on their end. Of course, speaking about moves, we see Alpha 7 now also starting to move their way on through as they are making their way up on through these northern positionings, looking for their next potential victims as they make their way through water treatment. And I mean, actually not too much of a widespread coming through then from the side of Alpha 7. Yes, they started over towards El Pozo, but now committed quite aggressively on towards that more zonal positioning. So a lot of rotation coming through here.
DRS and their Golden Mirado. It is a signature that they are going to get that, and then they're going to move forward. But now, it is against a team secret, but I'm not sure why. Why would you do that? Why would you leave that revive and just go for the fight? No, this is not the way it works. You were super close to get that revival done, and you just took it off, took your hands off last second. But now, it's going to be a very severe pay for this action, for the consequence from this point onward. JD smoking up the position, now cooking the grenade. He's going to throw it up behind this big cover that they have so far, but no connection. Secret finally back to their players. 4-man. It is Samsa finally getting that shot from the back side of Frankie. Team Secrets, Frankie getting a back shot done on towards the players of DRS. That's 1, that's 2 down. The chicken takers of the last match. They have already lost 2 players into the very next game.
And if it's up to Team Secret, DRS are not going to make it out of this one in one piece. But you got to give it up to the efficiency that we see coming through here from Team Secret. Just such a good read, widespread. And now it's going to be S holding on the side. The rush is coming through. The push is there. Tries to get a cheeky shot out the door. But unfortunately, Team Secret, they know the secret. And that is divide and conquer, as they've now absolutely just demolished the side of DRS. A solo is all that remains, and it's not looking all too hopeful for the rest of this match, at least for DRS. But they are feeling comfortable. As you can see, of course, those 23 points on board. Team Secret now going to try and secure as much as they can. They came into this match with a bag of donuts, but 3 eliminations added on top of that is going to make them feel almost rejuvenated. Speaking about rejuvenation, Vampire Esports trying to get themselves back on their feet. It is going to be Newsy now, the last one to be patched up and brought back on through. But Talon are going to be knocking on the door. Of course, if you remember, Talon, they didn't drop too far away, right? We did see them just a little bit more towards that southwestern side, but now looking to dial up the heat, the pressure. They start to move on through, and of course, that blue zone is going to be applying even more pressure onto the teams as well.
I mean, even the Miramar is not that fight heavy for the teams at this point. It is kind of onto the slow pace start yet again. But yeah, more fights, much more fights than we saw into the Erangel one. But there we go, Vampire Esports once again going into the action. There's a Miala getting one player down. Now into the proximity, he's going to cook that grenade. 3 grenades, now 1 has been used, 2 remaining. The connectivity is not happening, that's the thing. But Triber Messi, on to the other hand, to the kill feed, we're also seeing them take the fight against the Team Alpha 7 this time around. Okay, Vampire Esports going forward, DBS versus S12K, and the S12K wins it over Vampire Esports. That's another one that they can possibly get for themselves. A grenade goes over, boys gets knocked down, and now Vampire Esports, that's a second one that they're going to have. Talon Esports down to the very last guy. It is down to the very last player. And from this point onward, I don't think Talon Esports is going to survive. Yes, last match, they did really good. 8 points in total that they managed to secure. But now, as we move into the match number 2, they are facing a very heavy consequences of their actions into the match number 1. They're losing a lot of players. Joanne is the last guy alive. S12K, he couldn't even use that. And from the backside, it is Mielov with the 1897, the pump action. That's going to take all the players out. Talon Esports, with just a single elimination to their name against Newsy, it's over.
I mean, what a great way to close it off, though, as the Vampires stepped up and they just regained control of the lovely Picaro position. But now comes the interesting part, right? How are they going to look to rotate up? Are they going to full send it all the way up into San Martin? Are they going to go into the graveyard? Or maybe even make a play for Hacienda del Patron, right? We've seen quite a few teams already moving into the vicinity. Speaking about vicinities, it's going to be D plus Kia also now making their play over on towards that eastern side. Very close to Al Azhar, but unfortunately for them, the players from Alter Ego already rotated out of there. So there's going to not be much an opportunity now for the DRS, or rather the D plus Kia, to find more of that continuous play. In the meanwhile, RRQ Ruya, as well as Team Secret, I believe that was, very close to each other here, so we could have even more of an engagement coming through.
Oh, that could have been detrimental. Could have been, but Foster you barely just survived that. Lepa, he's also in the car now. Maybe he's gonna move forward, but now they have to really think of which angle they want to take the fight, because for a moment, a while ago, there was that Boom Esports that got one of the players, the RQ players, down. So we can already assume there's more players. But wait a second. Is that a new feature? Did they just change the tire of their own coupe? And whoa. Okay. That's very new. I was not expecting that to happen. I was not expecting mechanical for PUBG to get this mechanical onto the cars.
It's time to get greasy, right? Go get your spanners. Go get your wrenches. And if you get tired, you can just swap it out and get a new one. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen here as we got Bigatron by Vitality. Bumblebee just keeping a nice steady position here on the edge of Hacienda del Patron. Of course, Bigatron, not too much of an aggressive rotation on their end. They just moved a little bit more from that San Martin position, heading a little bit more towards the eastern side, but up in towards water treatment. This is where things are going to look to be quite interesting. Of course, RRQ, they have found themselves in a few altercations. We did see those shots flying over on towards the side there of Hura Esports. But are they going to be able to lock it in? Will we see a knock and a flush maybe coming through? Or is it, at least for now, just going to be a lot more of that long-range engagement?
I mean, this is kind of like a standoff point where the things get stale into the Miramar match. At the stage number 2, it's kind of stale. The stage number 3 is also going to like occur exactly almost the same. Maybe some fights here and there into the proximity, but the circle's taking the shift. 14 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna have a different circle approach. For Esports in the mini screen, you can see a lot of damage occurred to the guy, but he still barely managed to survive. But the circle, that's the big question. Is it gonna go south? Is it gonna go north? It is gonna go east, all the way towards the entrance of Elazar right there. But now Boom Esports, Alter Ego, in fact, they're easily inside that circle. They easily have the best position of the circle for themselves. There's Boom Esports. They can also hold the premises of the backside where the team RRQ. Alpha 7 is going to come in from the area. There's also, you can see the southern side where we can see the DRX closing in into the proximity. There's the RRQ maybe fighting with the Hora Esports as well. So everybody, without any further ado, without wasting a single second, they're entering inside that circle. Whether they get into the fight or not, that's up to them from this point onward. Whether they want to take the fight, there's the secret as well. A team that got eliminated, the first team that got eliminated into the Erangel match, now they're up against Team Vampire Esports. Right in front of each other, Vampire, he's getting that shot, but not enough to get that elimination. Easily getting into the car with his team members and just moving out of here. Easy exit right there. But RRQ into the meanwhile, with 13 teams alive, nobody wants to get into that hassle of the fights, and nobody wants to get into that aggressive stances, because they want to make sure that the lobby stabilizes a bit, get into the top 9, maybe the top 8, then they go for that aggressive stance.
Well, it is going to be absolute chaos once we get into that spot. But in the meanwhile, it's going to be DRX looking to kind of squeeze their way on through. And what's interesting about what we saw on this zone is that there's quite a bit of a divide, right, between the north and the south. We've got that road going right through the middle. So the teams will find themselves on either side of the canyon. And we are going to be seeing quite a bit of an exchange coming through as a result of that. But we did see the southern side looking quite aggressive. The team's just full on committed to it. Now looking over towards the eastern side is going to be D+ Kia trying to lock it down. But Alter Ego looking to deny them any of that eventuality as Rosemary is knocking on the door, trying to push on through. Of course, the rest of the team now trying to see if they can get the angles. Oxel, I like that angle. Could maybe be quite an opportunity available for the rest here of D+ Kia. Chips down in the meantime. We'll feel the heat. We'll feel the pressure start to mount as Alter Ego moves on in. It's going to be Daybot locking it in. Spray after spray. Rosemary off in the distance. Just hit the hit in. And that is going to be D+ Kia out in number 13. Down to 12 teams. But now, Alter Ego not out of the woods. We did see Team Boom also rolling on through. Eremisi also going to be feeling the heat as Alpha 7 moves up alongside them. And this is just like stockpiles of chaos just coming through all over the place.
Oh my god. Everybody now wants a piece of another player. Team Secret losing their players are right there. Alpha 7 is also one player down into the knockout section. Striber and Messi moving inside that circle area to a safer side location, but they have to be very careful. Yeah, that there is Alter Ego into the proximity as well. Yes, Giante, you are going to the right direction, but that direction might take you out. Giante down to his dual HP. He's gonna get that shotgun connected. Oh my god, that's a very hard hitting shotgun right there. It's a MG3 versus DBS going on now for the heal part. It is, but oh my god, alter ego. Why would you do that? Why would you leave the premises all alone? You could have gone forward and get that single shot connected onto towards the players, and Triber Messi could have scattered right there like a deck of cards from that point onward. For BTR versus Team Secret. Terang. No, this is not the right move. You stopped right into the middle of the road, middle of nowhere, and it's an instant like punishment for you. It's a knock, it's a confirmation, and Secret is also right now down to the very last guy. Yes, they managed to secure 5 eliminations into this game, but BTR, Bigatron, where are you throwing those grenades, man?
I mean, they're making sure that it's, you know, that there's no movement coming through from that little shack, right? I mean, talk about efficiency.
They don't even want the shack to move.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that shack, it's looking a little bit risky. As you can see, Optimus now in their prime as they start to move on through. Horror, oh, getting absolutely squashed here as Vampire Lazarus comes on in. But they're not out of the situation just yet. Horror. Yep, there we go. Sleepy getting taken back into the slumber there as Team Secret now gets eliminated. Off they go. Vampire also looking to see if they can find even more. Already 6 eliminations up. They have lost Nuzi rather in the process. But 3 players is not going to be too much of a deterrent here for them. We still see 2 squads knocking on the door, coming in over on towards that western front. But Horror gonna try and bounce back as it is. No fear. Contesting up against the side of Aramacy, and down they go as Horror gets stripped out in 11th place. Aramacy now looking pretty confident. 4 eliminations up. 10 teams remain. Not a lot of space left in the zone though, but they are gonna look to just lock down at least the north.
I mean, I don't know. Try Messi. What are they doing at this point? The Alpha 7 could have easily like sprayed them down, take 1 or 2 players into the proximity, but they were so determined to get that loot for themselves, and they were like, okay, even if we get eliminated here, we're still gonna get that loot. Alter Ego in the meanwhile against this M9, but oh no, Vampire Esports, the guy El Azarus is already super low in that HP, and that like a hit on the ground could have been detrimental, but the Mini 14 is what's going to make him fall down on his knees from this point onward. Bumblebee versus RRQ, it's happening. Rosemary's going down. Squash Boo is getting taken down as well. So 9 has been eliminated. It's a back and forth going on of the teams, and look at that, the kill feed's not stopping from this point onward. Giante getting Squash Boo down. There's also Markdown. Elzaris gets rammed down by the car. RRQ losing their lives. Oh my god, it's going completely haywire. The back and forth of those eliminations, the knockouts, it's super intense. There is a team KN with 1 player down. There's Vampire Esports, super low, kind of getting a lot of damage from the Kinotrop shots. But Ozi-san, let's see if you're going to be able to get those shots connected, get those knocks upon on the players. But Boom Esports, they have a very decent position whatsoever. The only compound that I can see, that I can determine into the circle side area, Boom Esports has it.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, yeah, compound is good, but smack dab center zone with all these other teams around you, I don't think it's such a good idea. That is going to be a really difficult spot to defend. In the meanwhile, Alpha 7, they are left with Mafioso as Mafioso now comes up against the side here of Alter Ego. It is going to be a 1v everybody else. Ooh, Krypton coming through with a quick little cheeky nade over the top. See if they can find it. Mafioso now has to play an absolutely glorious game. Sends out a few mollies, just trying to alleviate a little bit of that pressure. It is going to be Daybot just holding on the side. BTR now also prepping themselves for a bit of a strike. As you can see, that feed now starting to light on up. Mafioso going all over the place. But I like this play, though, coming through from Alter Ego, keeping Alpha 7 on their toes. But how much of this will they be able to hold on to? Fortunately, it is going to be a little bit of a saving grace now coming through here for Alpha 7. Oh, I say that. Mafioso gets in. But it could be quite a bit of a cross fight coming in between Tribe Eremacy and, of course, that of Alter Ego. Mafioso, unfortunately, is not going to be able to survive. But now the fight will continue as Tribe Eremacy looks to take their hand over to the side there of Alter Ego. They do find the first hit. Will they get the final blow to end the run for them?
A moment ago, we were top 10 teams. We had top 10 teams, and now we're down to the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Triber MSU rig. He's going to spot the players down, but oh my god, he already got a lot of shots connected on him. There's no way that he can go forward. Triber Messi, in fact, from this point onward, you have to heal yourself. Come on, but Kinotrope from the backside. They're going to take down the Triber Messi from the top 5. They go out. And now Alter Ego versus Kinotrope. What's going to happen? The players moving into the close proximity. Finale from the backside is giving cover, but Ozi-san is in the close vicinity with a grenade. He's going to throw it up. No connection whatsoever. He's outside of the circle. 12 seconds, 10 seconds in, and you're going to have to force your way in the circle, whether you like it or not. But Alter Ego is still staying here. In fact, Ace 32, it's not going to connect that much, but BTR versus Alter Ego. From the backside, he's going to take care of Alter Ego's players, but Krypton, this guy is going to take down one, is going to almost take down the two, but the second one, he's going to take down Alter Ego in an instant. The zone is going to take him out as well, but Optimus from the Bigatron side managed to get one knockdown. In an instant, it's a Boom Esports winner chicken dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Not too much of those eliminations, but yes, those 10 crucial points for the winner chicken dinner, that's definitely gonna help.
Who would have thought, though? I mean, Boom Esports taking the most vulnerable position, smack dab center zone, right in the only compound, the spot that I thought would be absolutely detrimental. I thought the teams would be looking down in that. Instead, they were able to survive. Not a single hit, not a single shot coming in their direction, and instead they have the opportunity to reign supreme, clutching up with that winner chicken dinner. What a play. But we did see quite a bit of fighting, though, coming through. And, of course, it is going to be the MVP award going to the side here of Vampire Esports. So you can see 5 eliminations and 700 damage getting dealt. So, again, not very crazy numbers. It just shows you that this has been a pretty tough lobby for these teams to fight in.
Oh, yeah. We're getting MVPs with 5 eliminations, 700, 800 damages, all these kind of factors. And within the 20 minutes of time, 21 minutes of survival time, almost 22, 23, almost the end of the lobby. That's where the players are kind of surviving. But yes, it is the Vampire Esports that's going to have the MVP this time around. 16 total points for the Bigatron into the match ranking, even though they couldn't get that winner chicken dinner just because of the amount of eliminations that they have, the 10 numbers of eliminations. They're going to still stay on the top. Boom Esports with 2 eliminations. They're going to have the winner chicken dinner. 12 total points. Alter Ego, 8 eliminations, 4 placement points, meaning they were on the hashtag number 5. 12 total points, 11 total points for the Kinotrope. There's Vampire with the 10 total points, and 9 for Triber Messi, DRX with 5, Secret with 5, 4 for the Sem9, 1 for Alpha 7, Hora, Talon, and Nexori. But RQ View, D plus Kia, and DRS Gaming. These are the names into the match number 2 that is going to have those donuts for themselves.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but hey, someone's got to take it. And of course, speaking about taking it, let's take a look at the overall rankings. Alter Ego now climbing 2 slots all the way up into pole position. Of course, we can see the players there from Bigatron Vitality also then leaping their way up. 7-slot jump all the way into that 3rd place. So absolutely phenomenal climbing that we see coming in here. Tribe Aramacy also making their way all the way up into that 5th position. Of course, sharing the position alongside Vampire Esports. RRQ, though, they've been moved down a little bit more, right? Down into that 6th position. Boom Esports, that glorious winner chicken dinner, catapulting them all the way up into 7th position. So still a very interesting spread that we have with the teams here. As you can see, at least everybody on this first page coming through with those double digits with regards to their scores. And that only after 2 matches. But that means moving on to page number 2, right? We'll see quite a few teams then coming through with those single digits, right? First 2 games, not expecting all too much, but it is looking pretty spicy though.
I mean, that's the thing. The second page is kind of looking super on the red side. 5 positions going down from 5 all the way to the 10. Talon Esports it is. DRX also losing from 9 to all the way 11. Sem 9 from 6 to 12. Okay, Secret managed to climb up some of the spots from very bottom 16 to up onto the in fact 14th position for the Horror Esports. They also lost 3 of their positions. D plus Kia on the 15 and Nexori on the 16th. 1, 2, 4, 5 and less than 10 points. Less than 10 points for all of the players into the page number 2. But match number 2 has been done and dusted. It is DRS. It is a Boom Esports for the first 2 matches. Now only 3 more matches remain with Erangel, Miramar, and Erangel. We're gonna go back into the Erangel match after a while, so I'm really excited for that, on how much the teams have learned from their mistakes into the match number 1, and how much of those next moves and those new strategies are gonna occur from match number 3 onward.
Yeah, that is definitely what we are going to be looking at. Of course, Group A, Group B, each of them have had a team succeed in getting that winner chicken dinner. As you said, it is going to be coming down to game number 3 to see who will rise to the challenge. And of course, on that, we are going to be taking a quick break. So stay tuned, and we'll see you right back afterwards.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Lidoma Asia season, in fact, 3, Asia Showdown season 3. After the 2 matches, if you're not here, it was for the DRS, it was for the Boom Esports, but now, as the match number 3, once again, we will be going into the Erangel match. Before heading into that, introducing ourselves, once again, it is me, Torix, and with me, it is DK on the desk once again. DK, it is an honor to cast with you once again, man. It's going good, but the teams, they're doing super good.
I mean, they're going a little bit crazy, right? Let's be honest about it. Are we surprised though? Not really, right? As we mentioned in the pregame, it is going to be a pretty crazy day. We've got some phenomenal teams up in here. And of course, as we know, as we progress through the playoffs, it's just going to get better because we'll have another group of teams joining us as well. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to as these teams make their way on through. Of course, for match number next, we are going to be heading straight up into Erangel again to see who will be the team to reign supreme. As you've already mentioned, DRS got that first winner chicken dinner. Boom Esports clutching it out in the desert, but who will be the team for number 3, right? Will we see DRS doing it again? Could we maybe have a little bit of that Alpha 7 spice come through? Could it be D plus Kia? Could it be, I don't know, Team Secret? Maybe Talon? Right? There's so many teams to choose from who could very well step up to claim our 3rd chicken dinner of the day. And of course, only time will tell us, and at least we don't have to wait that long as we make our way straight down into the match. And a very similar flight path to what we had in game number 1. Of course, we're just coming from the western side as opposed to the east.
We're coming back. We're coming back. The plane took them to the Miramar. Now it's taking them back to the Erangel. Oh my god. Talk about coincidences. But yes, the plane line is going from west all the way to the east this time around. And with this, once again, maybe the similar drop locations we might see from all of these players from this point onward. But alter egos, they haven't got out of this plane. But the circle is, in fact, this time gonna go all the way down, in fact, up to the northern side areas. The Stalbert, the Severnes, the Yasnaya Poliana. Last time it was into the quarry region, the Gutkar region that was kind of centralized, but now this time it's a different location. It's a different positioning of the plane. In fact, the circle, the team's going exactly where they go last game, the first game, in fact, whatsoever. Aside from the fact that I'm not seeing alter ego going at Miltap Power, the rest teams, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, I like this consistency coming through. And of course, as we know, consistency is key. I did see someone in chat also saying consistency. I mean, it's true, right? You said it. And now let's see how these teams are going to look to play forward, though. Of course, we do have the players there from Bigatron going for their same old spread, right? Bigatron by Vitality going up in towards Quarry. Similar place to where things ended in the previous round. Speaking about ending, though, look at this. It's going to be Talon and Alter Ego coming in hot, getting ready for a little bit of that early game chaos. Now, who will be the one to walk away with their heads held high? Talon got to watch these angles as they go for a quick little bit of a breakaway, trying to put a little bit of distance in between themselves and the push going through here from Alter Ego areas. But up comes the push. The play is here. Alter Ego, they said, you know, time is up. You've had enough time to grab whatever you can find. Let's have a showdown. DBS coming through, but unfortunately the Tommy gun will get the upper hand. I thought definitely was going to be that shotty that would get the clutch play. But yeah, as you can see, you don't even need fancy guns. A pistol, that's all you need to have in hand and make that 4.5 ammo work in your favor.
I mean, that is the thing. Good job to the guy. Alter Egos getting those 2 eliminations for themselves into this early on into the game with barely any good guns. Tommies, the shotguns, the 1897s, up against the DBS kind of gun, the close range master gun. It's great. It's great. But from this point onward now, as we're still down to 16 teams, Alter Ego is going to have those 2 eliminations a lot of damage onto themselves. They don't have any like medications to heal themselves back to the 75%. But Talon Esports, they're struggling from this point onward. They're going to be very much hindered. Their performance is very much going to be hindered from this point onward because only 2 players are remaining. They can't go completely on the aggressive stances. They have to really think of what they want to do from this point onward, because one wrong move from now on, it's going to be enough to take them out of this match. And you already are close to the halfway point. This match is the halfway point. As soon as we're going to have like 8 teams alive, we're actually going to be into the halfway point of the game, of the whole day, in fact, from that point onward. But 62 players, Kinotrope, one of them being one of them, into the Pochinki alongside the rest of his team. Nobody's in Pochinki, and I'm super confused why nobody's trying to go Pochinki.
I mean, we've actually been seeing Pachinki for quite a long time recently, not being occupied as frequently as it used to be back in the day, right? So it's an interesting shift in the dynamic as to how these teams look to get themselves situated and spread out and where they decide to go. Of course, I'd love to see a little bit of that Pachinki play come back, right? Pachinki is always a very contested place if there's enough competition in there. But speaking about competition, it is going to be a race, though, to see who can get themselves a good spot moving up in towards this northern zone. Kinotrope, of course, going to be one of those early movers, early shakers, as they get themselves quite well established. I'm curious whether or not they're going to look to push all the way up into maybe shooting range, or maybe even take a play for Savoni itself. We'll find out in due course exactly where they're going to be going. Of course, moving now in towards school and the Rozhok area, we can see D plus Kia as well as Boom now occupying this territory. We've not really seen an altercation between those 2 teams coming through just yet, but that could change at any point. Alpha 7, they also not going to be wasting any time as they get an early rotation secured. And they got to get their butts going, because we've got 3 minutes left until we find out where stage 2 is going to be taking us.
There's only 3 minutes left for the stage number 2 to occur, but 16 teams, ladies and gentlemen. This lobby, once again, as soon as we head back to the Erangel, the staleness, the survivability came back for all of the teams, and everybody is going for a very slow approach for all of the fights, all of the actions. There was only that early 2 players fight that occurred. Aside from that, no other fight is even remotely close to the proximity of the players. But yes, one thing is for sure, that as soon as the circle is going to start to close down on towards these players, they're definitely going to try to make their way into a safer side of the circle, because now we know that the circle is kind of into the northern favored. It might just go to the Stolber side, even though Stolber has been reworked and it's right now super good for the survivability. You have to be very careful still on the fact that you might get stranded there. There is a very high likely chance that the position-wise, the compound-wise that Stolber is, you can get completely surrounded by all of the different teams without your even teammates. But RRQ on our screen kind of stuck at the very corner, whereas Team Secret is on the top of the mountain, just at the corner near the Nova Rupnoi.
And it's no secret that RRQ could potentially lose one of their players right here. Of course, we did see this exact player in the previous Erangel managing to survive the onslaught of quite a bit of utility, right? All those nades flying in their direction, and they were able to survive all of it. And then, unfortunately, things didn't work out all too well. But let's see how Team Secret are going to look to get themselves situated. Are they going to move and maybe just, get out of the blue zone? it does seem like that is going to be the play here. Too much of that blue juice is not going to bode all too well. But this is now an opportunity for Zoraya to maybe bring in a little bit of that force and contest the play. Oh, yeah, no, it's a runaway game. Team Secret now jumping into action as they get ready to move on through. But I like this though, right? A little bit of excitement. RRQ also with a decent setup, decent positioning, a little bit more towards the north, setting up a bit of an ambush here as they try to see if they can lock down Team Secret and send them right on back.
Oh my god. Secret. You're outside of the blue. You're getting that damage. You're also going forward to the team RRQ. But there we go. They haven't spotted. The players kind of loan that HP to Rang. Let's go with that M416. Not a single connection. Not a single bullet connected upon on the players. But now they're going to see more and more players. One getting away with the car. But oh my god. Another one getting rammed down by one. This is not looking good. And though one of the RRQ down and dusted. It's all up to the single guy, the final hope of the team RRQ. But oh my god, the other side of the bridge is completely surrounded by the DRS. The moment even Secret is going to use this bridge for themselves, it's going to be a complete haywire situation. It's going to be a complete destruction, obliteration for maybe another team.
I mean, what a big brain play coming through here from the side of DRS. But this might actually be a little bit of a costly play as they are within that blue. So they do find themselves already with a slight bit of a disadvantage. They are going to be losing HP. Team Secret now yet to rotate up, but it does seem like Team Secret are trying to decide which way to go. Are they going to push towards that western front rather as opposed to pushing straight over on towards the eastern bridge? Of course, taking a look at that zone, a big majority of our teams have already made those pushes, made those plays, and got themselves set up. Now, it's going to be D plus Kia looking to knock on the door here for Sem9. Sem9, they've been doing pretty well so far on Erangale for the day. Are they going to be able to survive yet another onslaught? I mean, D plus Kia, we've not seen all too much from their end, right? They've come into this match with only 2 points to their name. Are they going to be able to clutch it up? Sem9 holding nice and steady, coming through with a 7-point lead ahead of D plus Kia. So they're not going to be all too phased, but both squads are going to be looking to secure any additional points that they can find here. Sneaky move. Team Talon, though, going to be the next one out to go out in 15th, and unfortunately not a single point getting awarded to them. Chips keeping it nice and quiet, hoping for a bit of an opportunity, bit of an angle. Trying to play a little bit of that sneak approach now, smoking it up, but it is going to be push, it is going to be go. Oh, here we have it. Quick, cheeky angle. I mean, that ace in hand, but look at the plays though. DRS playing the bridge against the side of Team Secret, also going up on the bridge. No idea why we even have the bridge still in play. But Team Secret yet to move on up, and that is exactly what they're going to try and do now.
And it has been quite a minute that we have last seen any kind of bridge contestation and the fights to occur. But here we go. We have DRS doing that. But Sem9, in the meanwhile, are also going to lose 2 of their players. Fireman is also going to get finished off right there and then. D plus Kia. Ozal with that AUG in hand. He's going to go forward, but situation is not looking good as they got 3 of those eliminations for their name so far. It is down to the last guy of the Sem9. That is Manfox coming on, getting 1 player down. Yumiko right now is knocked out. The second guy also gets taken down. Oh my god, it's a full elimination. That's a third party from the backside. Rosemary got DK Noibu out. There's Manpa coming on, getting that revive. There's Ahura, the jiggle. And right there, nobody knows his location, but now they know. Not only that, the jiggle, also with that low HP, manages to not only survive, but also got that final hit on the player of Sem9. It is over. Horror Esports with that first elimination to their name as well, but now they're also going to be surrounded by 2 different teams from 2 different angles.
Yeah, it's going to be Alter Ego over on towards the east, and Boom Esports coming through up on towards that northwestern front. So not the best spot here for Hora to be in. Fortunately, they do have quite a bit of cover, but very limited options as to how they're going to look to play through this one. The push could maybe look to come in here as we do have Alter Ego poking and prodding over the ridge, trying to keep themselves just ahead of the competition. Of course, DRS now all the way up onto towards 24 points, but Alter Ego coming through with a very comfortable 3 eliminations so far. Hora, oh, it's not looking too great. They are going to be reduced down to a 3-piece this time around. No fear, will not be the last one left for the squad. Guy going to be holding up on towards that northern side as well. So a good spread in general coming through from Hora rather. But Alter Ego, I mean, they just look so confident right here.
I mean, that is the thing. Confidence is the key. No matter what.
All right, so the zone has given us yet another shift. I think, Mr. Torix, you might have muted yourself there accidentally. But in the meanwhile, the zone is just going to have the teams now look to condense, look to push the plays even further, as it is right there, smack dab in the center. And again, we do find the river this time around, cutting that position right in half. So I'm looking to see who's going to look to push up onto the hills towards the northern side of Rozek, down towards the southern side, where we can see the players there from Team Boom. Oh, they might find themselves in quite a bit of a sweet spot. Hora still going to be trying to hold nice and steady. They still have 3, but now going to have to keep their heads on an absolute swivel here.
I mean, that is the thing. I'm sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to you, too, JK. That was an unfortunate on my part, but I'm back. Hora Esports taking the fight, but not that connectivity. Yeah, they are shooting at the cars. Even if they don't get the players, they're definitely going to get the cars of the players as well. But Hora Esports, they have to be very careful because, yeah, even though you have this amount, like so much of those bullets into your name, if you're not able to get those connectivities done and get those knockouts, it's not going to do much good to you. But DRS, oh my god, that was a lot of shots on towards the players. That was the horse went forward, the player stayed back. SSS gets instant elimination from the side of Boom Esports from this point onward. Boom is going to have their first elimination now. DRS, they're closing on. They're going to take one player. Master is down. Oh my god, Joanne is also knocked down. Pawn Bet coming in, but instantly getting obliterated. Boom Esports potentially down to the very last guy from this point onward, and DRS. Oh my god, that was a straight up amazing. No matter how you look at it, these guys came in and instantly obliterated all the 4 players, but now it is a 0 going on the reload. Now DBS versus a 12KS. 12K once again back on the 3 bullets, 5 bullets going forward. Nobody's getting that connection. What is going on? Even he's trying to get that knock player confirmed, but no luck whatsoever. Down to the very 4 bullets that he is. He's super low in that HP, and the other side, Narsima, he's low as well. Backside it is, ladies and gentlemen. Kinotrope came in, got that final nail in the coffin, and DRS now potentially surviving with 3 eliminations to their name.
I mean, that was a clutch play, at least for the side of DRS, but now it's going to be Kinotrope trying to come in and, claim their tariffs, right? They saved the day here for DRS, but now DRS will have to pay the price as they become the next victims as the push comes on in. DRS feeling the pressure, feeling the sprays. Tamer hitting the shots on in the zone, also getting ready to close on through. So it is going to be applying quite a bit of pressure to the teams yet to rotate in. Samsa, feeling the nays as Ozzy-san rather hits the shots on through. Will Samsa be able to survive the onslaught? As Kinotrope now, they know exactly where to go, where to try and lock it in, but they have to be quick about it because we got Hura also now getting ready for a bit of a repositioning. And there we have it. Dumps are getting wrapped on up. Horror Esports just up ahead. Kinotrope not quite out of the woods just yet. Of course, the Zorn is going to be taking a slightly more northern positioning as it does take the teams onto the opposite riverbank. And this does change the battlefield quite a bit.
It does, it does. The bridge side of Rozhok, the back skirts of Rozhok is finally into the play, and you can already see there's going to be a lot of bloodshed just by looking at the teams on how aggressive they're approaching all of the situation. Horror Esports coming in. There's also team of Falcons, in fact, Vampires Esports, in fact, going on into forward side, getting those knocks, getting those connectivities. Oh my god, a DX, a DRX, it's over for them with just a single elimination. Vampire is going to have those 3 eliminations for themselves, and I do love to see the fact that all the top teams, aside from the DRS, there's just the missing of DRS and Boom Esports from the top vicinities that's not into the play. The rest of them, they're alive. They're 4-man. Maximum, it's a 3-man still standing. But Horror Esports, NEX, these are the 2 names that I'm really hoping to see do really good from this point onward, because this is the time. This is the moment that you have to be very careful on what you're going to do, because one wrong move will instantly mean that you're not going to be able to do good spots for yourself for the rest of the matches, for the rest of the days. So from this point onward, whatever you're doing, you have to make sure that there is no room for mistakes whatsoever.
Yep, and that is going to be a pretty tough one to have secured all the way through. Newsy, though, coming through with a nice few cheeky sprays up the hill. This Wizard Tower now coming in clutch. Here's Vampires. Look to just hang around a little while longer. Alpha 7 also now in a good opportunity here to try and secure themselves as many points as they can find. You were mentioning Hura needing to step it up. So far, they've got those 2 eliminations to their name, and of course, they still have all 3 of their players remaining. So let's see if they can make any of that magic happen. The Blue Zorn is going to start to close on up. I'm curious as to where BTR are going to look to get themselves situated, because we did see them really just being so consistent with their position on that southern side of the Zorn. Not overly committing to any aggressive pushes just yet, but Hura, they're going to have to fend off quite a bit of the contention here. As we can see, everybody now looking to just cram in on this western front.
I mean, that is the thing. That is the situation that's going on. There's a lot of situations that can overturn at you and can help you potentially from this point onward. Horror Esports, they're at the corner. What they need to do is they need to make sure that they do not push over aggressively to any side, any location, because what they're doing right now, I'd say they're doing it really good. The position holding is really good so far, and they can potentially have some decent number of eliminations, but this is not the right move to do. Sleepy Hura going all the way from a different directions to a different directions to take the fight against a different team, and it can actually backfire at him. Horror Esports, they need to stick together. AST, Triber, Messi, you can see them close to the gas station as well. Outskirts of that, they're also rotating their car, trying to find if there is anyone into the close proximity, just laying around into the grass, into this tall grass that we can run over, get those eliminations. But Sky Horror, you have just given out your potential location to the Triber Messi. Now they're going to be very cautious on you at your location, and you have kind of shown them that, okay, you were moving into the backside, but we all know that's going to be a fake, and maybe even Triber Messi know if they hold it out and then wait for you to show your face again.
Ooh,
oh,
well, yeah, and we know where that one is going. As you can see, there's no hiding from Sky. This guy just spots the opportunity. The angle pops a quick cheeky hit over the top. And here we have it now. Let's see whether or not Hura... Nope, they weren't. Whether or not they'll be able to survive. It's going to be up to Jiggle and Sleepy now to carry the torch for their squad. as the pressure starts to mount. It's going to be a full-on send. Vampire also now coming into the vicinity here. As you can see them just quickly turning around and heading further down south. Nexory also going to be riding that ridge. You can see them up on the minimap coming through on that southern side. BTR, though, starting to pop off. We do say goodbye to Alter Ego. Actually, they've been out of here for a little while now. Try Aramacy. They won't survive the pressures to that northern side. Bigatron by Vitality are going to be holding steady here with 2 players still up. Snape, not sure whether or not they're going to be able to survive the pressure and the play coming through from the side of Vampire Esports, but they are going to look to try and make the most of it as the sprays now just rain on down. I mean, Bumblebee actually doing a pretty good job here so far, right? 2 eliminations is going to be their contribution for the squad. Tupac getting popped off right there. Let go is what Jiggle is shouting at them, telling them to just go into the lobby already. Razy also holding here, but Vampires, Lazarus not wanting to give this one up, sends out a beautiful nade. The damage is in. There we go. Beautiful place though. Absolute chaos and carnage all over the place.
It is carnage all over the place. Next, Apex getting those eliminations for himself. There's Hora throwing all the Molotovs, all the throwables that they had potentially. Jiggle actually did that. He's completely exhausted out of his utilities from this point onward. But Sleepy Hora, he still have 5 nades, 2 Molotovs that he can potentially throw. Sky Hora also looking at the team at A7 so far. There we go. The headshot has been spotted. The shots did connect, but he just barely managed to survive out of that area. He got into the safe side now. He's going to heal. Bigatron by Vitality, Team A7, the only 2 teams that I'm seeing really good with decent number of players over these 2, but oh my god, Bigatron just got eliminated. There's also Hora with a 3-man still standing into the game, but A7 Esports versus Sky Hora. It is Hora getting knocked down. It is Sky facing the consequences of his action. There's Apex getting eliminated, another team getting fully finished off. So it's top 3. It's top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Vampire, Hora, and Alpha 7. 3 versus 3 versus 1. Potentially, Hora Esports may not win this out because just 1 player got knocked down, and those grenades that are coming from the Alpha 7 sides, they're making some decent number of jobs on towards these players. They're getting some decent chunk of damage upon on the players, but not enough for that knockout, for that potential knockout. They need another knockout for this to actually happen. Jiggle Hora managed to get Lazarus out of the vicinity as well. It is just these 2 teams, 3 versus 2.
I mean, it's looking pretty good here for Alpha 7. They've got their 3 players up. We've got Squash Brew as well as Carrillo, at least now on the front line. Mafioso also going to try and find a bit of an off-angle approach, but Jiggle and Sleepy, they're just going to try and survive as best they can. Carrillo trying to ride that edge. You can see the shots now starting to connect them through onto a Jiggle. Sleepy up in the vehicle, a very risky play, but they are at the same time trying to keep themselves out of harm's way. That buggy could maybe still come in clutch. Carrillo has been spotted up on the ridge, but this is now going to be the full send opportunity for the rest of Alpha 7. The utilities now raining all the way through. Oh, Carrillo gets met with a beautiful nade. Sleepy, now the last one left for their team, finds the connecting shots. Does bring the battle now onto even ground, and with that, it is an absolute clutch up as Hora Esports walk away with the winner chicken dinner, taking Alpha 7 down right in the last few moments.
Last few moments, and Hora it is that got that winner chicken dinner. Amazing job by these guys. They just did an amazing job. Almost looking impossible. It was a 3 versus 2, but they still managed to squeeze it out for themselves, getting that winner chicken dinner with 10 elimination numbers as well, meaning DK, that's an instant 20 points increment for these players into the match number 3. Only 2 more matches are remaining, but the MVP, first of all, it's going to be Sleepy with 4 eliminations, 998 damage. Oh my god, the player's elimination is barely even the halfway point of the 10 double digits, but his damage is already almost exceeding 4 digit point. But here we go. Survival time 24 minutes and 37 seconds. He's going to be the MVP of the match number 3. MVP well deserved, because not only Hora managed to get that win over Chickener, they did it in style. They did it at a disadvantage. And with this, now the next situation that we do have to see is the Miramar that's about to come, Erangel that's about to come. But 20 points, ladies and gentlemen, for Hora Esports. 12 for Alpha 7, 10 for Vampire. Same for the bigger Tron Vitality. Nexori gets 6. There's 6 for Kinotrope. There's Alter Egos with the 6 as well. 5 for the DRS. 4 for D plus Kia. Team Secret, Sem9. They managed to secure 3. Triboro, Messi, and Boom with the 2. And DRX with just 1.
Hey, I mean, I gotta say, things are looking pretty good, right? Even fewer teams now not getting points. So a very aggressive performance across the board, but the consistency, that is the thing that we are going to be looking at right here. And of course, how all of these match rankings will translate into the overall standings, right? Because as you said in the beginning of today, is the top few slots are going to be where it's at, right? The slots that you have to try and fight for to make it through into those next few stages. Of course, Alter Ego not really getting contested here for their pole position, holding quite comfortably on the 30 points. But Bigatron by Vitality are coming in hot all the way up onto 29 points. As a result, DRS got moved down ever so slightly. But Hora Esports, what a play. A 10-slot jump all the way up into 4th. Now tied with Vampire Esports on 24 points apiece. And then, of course, Alpha 7 coming through with 23 points right there as well.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of big jumps. There's some 2 points. There's some 10 points going on for Hora. But yeah, there's a lot of 3-2 points of downgrades as well. Tribor Messi lost 3 of their positions. Boom Sports lost 2. And slowly and steadily from all the way top point is 30, going down to 14, barely even the halfway section into just the page number 1. Going on to the page number 2, it is RRQ Review, losing their first ranking chart position, going to the second chart with 13 points. 12 for the Sem9. Right there, DRX with 10, 9 for Talon, Secret with 8, and Nexori with the 7, 6 for D plus Kia, and Champions D Xaviers not even joining into the match. They haven't played even a single match yet for themselves, and because of that, we're going to count up to top 16 so far till the very end. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is the MVP ranking, the overalls so far. BTR Bumblebee on the top with 8 elimination and 993 damage. 20 minutes of whooping survival time throughout the 3 games. Then we have Killer White Teeth from DRS. Same eliminations. Damage is different, 1510. And last but not the least, it is 7 knockouts with 15 minutes of survival time.
It's looking pretty good, though. I mean, some pretty impressive performances from our MVPs right here. But of course, well, it's not going to stop there. We still have a long way to go. 2 more games, 1 more Miramar, 1 more Erangel to see exactly where these teams will finish up after our first day of play. DRS, Broom, and Hora each now feeling quite comfortable with those winner chicken dinners. But the big question is going to be, will it be enough to secure them the slot on the overall standings where they need to find themselves come end of day here? Now, of course, it means that we still have a little bit more of excitement to look forward to.
I mean, we do have a little bit of more excitement. The Minamod is definitely going to be exciting as well because, once again, the second Minamod it is. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we head into that Minamod match, we are going to go for a short break. Do not leave the premises. Stay here with us onto the stream, and we will be back shortly.
Welcome back to the Pubg Mobile Asia Showdown Season 3 Playoffs, day number 1. We are getting ready to move into game number 4. Of course, we're heading right back into the desert, and we've had quite a wide spread of teams securing themselves those winner chicken dinners. We have DRS, we had Boom, we had Hura. Who's going to get the next one? Of course, well, your guess is as good as ours because it could be any of our participating teams, at least in Group A and B. We know for sure Group C are not going to get any chickens today. I'd be very confused if that was a thing, right? But yeah, of course, now we've seen quite a bit of excitement coming through as our teams continue to dial up the pressure. And of course, it is only building as we are getting further and further into this. And of course, Torix, this is where I'm curious as to what is going to be unfolding as we move into our very last Murmur here for today.
I mean, it is the final Miramar, and that only means one thing. You only have one chance for this Miramar. Yes, you're still gonna have another Erangel for yourself, but the history of Erangel so far has not been good whatsoever for all of these teams. They do much better, all of them, in fact, into the Miramar rather than what we're seeing them do into the Erangels. So, really hopeful that they might like get some decent number of eliminations in this match, some early fights. I'm still hoping for some early fights. Yes, you have tested the waters, you know what the other team is doing whatsoever, how they're playing, where they're going from this point onward. So now it's your time, now it's your chance. It's the second half phase. Played completely on the aggressive side. Make sure the bottom line teams, the teams that are at the bottom, they go for the early fights, early engagements, all of that, because you have nothing to lose today. It's still the first day. It is still the water testing phases. Even if you lose today, you're still going to have a chance tomorrow and the day after. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to take too much of your time for this silly talk as well, for the visual thinking of fights, but we're going to actually show you the fights from Partona all the way up to the Tierra Bronca. The plane line is going. El Pozo, Picado, I'd say yes, it's accessible, but very rarely. You have to glide your way up to the Picado.
I mean, a little bit of gliding is not going to be too much of a challenge here. So I'm looking to see if we're going to have the same drops coming through yet again this time for our game. Of course, Vampire, they went into Picado in the previous match, so will they be able to reach it? We'll find out, right? Are they going to be gliding their way into there? But I think another thing that could be interesting is, where is Alpha 7 going to go? Because they can't reach up into El Pozo, right? The zone might allow them to go there, but the flight path surely won't. So we'll see where exactly and how exactly these teams are going to look to get themselves situated. But I'm excited to see what this very southwestern zone is going to be bringing through for the teams, because again, a lot of mountains now coming into play, and there's going to be quite a few interesting angles, especially to the south there of Ladriera, where these teams can get themselves situated.
The circle, on the other hand, it's going very bad. This circle is, oh my god, super crazy for the team. And Asdil Sur, Valdilmar, these areas, the Ladrelia, they are kind of the very corner of the map, and that's where the circle is centralized on, meaning majority of the area, almost 20, 25, 30% of the area is not even accessible right now for the teams. But RRQ, for some reason, they're kind of into the water. Yes, there is a city over there. The map is just not updated yet. There is the Partona city. The bottom side, the prison areas, Minal del Sur, the Los Igos, it has been changed. So, you know, the team is still into the safe side area. But so far, Vampire Esports is another team that we have our eyes on against the team DRX that they are, with QBZ in hand, Miaula. He's ready, but DRX, look at that. 3 players into the same compound, and just 1 player, just giving them the location of, okay, where the enemies are, where the players are.
But so this could be an interesting play here, because, I mean, Vampires, they've been challenged by several teams in this region, right? We've seen Talon come up, stepping to the plate in the first Miramar that we had. Now it's going to be the RX, as you've mentioned, looking to see if they stand a chance against the side here of Vampire Esports. And so far, it does seem like the Vampire Esports squad is going to be looking to make an example out of DRX. They've already taken down Big Papa. Are they going to be able to find Big Mama and the rest? Or is it going to be a bit of a gamble? Fortunately, the casino is there if they feel like they want to go and have a little bit of that. But in the meanwhile, elimination is about to find its way on through. Newsy just searching all over the place, frantically scanning the area to see if they can find it. They do get it. And there we have it. The first blood going to Lazarus. Now, is the rest of the RX going to follow in their teammates' footsteps?
I mean, this is the question. Are they going to follow? Are they going to like get something from that? Let's see what we're gonna do. DRX, yeah, so far He is just chilling out there, not making that much of any kind of moves. Big Mama is also into the safe side. So far, no movement whatsoever. But Meowla, I'm really scared for these guys because Meowla has not even budged an inch. He's just locked and loaded. And Meowla, because of that, I think he might